What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Let's talk about NXT Judgment Vengeance Day first. So we had 6 matches on the card for that pay-per-view, and I thought, first of all, overall, I thought both of them were good shows. I'm not giving extensive reviews about it, but I'm just going to give y'all guys the clip notes. Once again, I didn't say I had to go back and watch highlights and stuff like that and see what was going on with it. We had, for Vengeance Day, we had the opener, which was a singles match for the NXT Women's North American Championship. We had Stephanie Valkyria taking on Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley has been good. She's been hanging out with JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. And she's been doing good. You know, I like that little group with her and her North American Championship. And then she got her little spotlight. But Stephanie Valkyria, man, you know they was going to get behind her. And that's going to be the one. And she ends up hitting the spinal tap, which I'm not even going to hold you. I see a lot of women's wrestling. I see a lot of women's indie wrestling sometimes, but for some reason, maybe it's just past me or I don't pay attention. I very, very rarely see women pull out the spinal tap. I used to see AJ Styles do it all the time in TNA, all the time, but very rarely do I see the women pull that out. To be honest with you, and she does that. She beats Fallon Henley, and she wins the women's North American Championship. Well deserved. I think, you know, she was clearly going to win that one. So she wins that championship, and then next up there was Nathan Frazier and Axiom taking on Josh Briggs, and I'm going, since Prime is not here to correct my Japanese, I'm going to get this wrong, but it's Yoshikimi Inamura. Josh Briggs, I think he went over to Japan for a while, and he been working with this guy. So they had a tag team. I wasn't too familiar with the guy, honestly, because I don't keep up with a lot of the Japanese wrestlers. But Nathan Frazier and Axiom have quietly went and became one of the hottest tag teams in wrestling. Okay, not just WWE, not just NXT, in wrestling. But they do retain their championships, and it was good. They only had about 10 minutes though, but 10 minutes for them is a lifetime when they be running as fast as they do. Then they had Eddie Thorpe taking on Trick Williams in a strap match, and this I say is the weakest match of the card. Eddie Thorpe is kind of like I don't know how to describe Eddie Thorpe. I can't say I'm a fan, but I don't hate him. You know, he's there to me. And I'm like, I gotta see more of it. The strap match was okay. You know, they had some of the strap moments of whipping each other, stuff like that. But the shocker, though, was when Eddie Thorpe got the strap and then low blow Trick Williams with it and hit like a front drop kick and pinned him. The fans didn't even know how to react to that. They was like, wait a minute, wait, hold on. Trick just lost to Eddie Thorpe in a strap match? That's how they felt. And I don't blame them for that. I do think that this is not a one and done thing. I do think this is going to be a thing where Trick going to get his lick back. I don't know if it's going to be a stand deliver. I don't really think Trick needs to be doing this as stand deliver with Eddie Thorpe. It's a possibility he could though. And stand deliver is not until mid-April, so we got time before then. So I think, I think whatever Trick can get his lick back and get a more decisive win. Or he'll get his win in an episode of NXT or a special episode they got coming up. But it just shocked everybody that was in there. And it was an alright match. But the match was pretty good. Javon Evans taking on Ethan Page. The storyline of Ethan Page breaking Javon Evans' jaw. So he was in there with like the heavy mouth guard that was in there. Like it was like noticeable. It kind of like you know how Mr. T looked in Rocky 3. We had that big ass mouth guard in his mouth. That's what Javon Evans was looking like. But that boy Javon Evans can go. Young OG is the man. And I'm so glad he made the base roster in 2K24 opposed to being DLC because Javon Evans is a treat. And he did a little springboard cut he did on the apron with Ethan Page. The one thing that scared him because he is like so damn athletic. He knocks Ethan Page out on the outside. This is one spot I gotta talk about. And he goes because he's trying to hit Ethan Page at the beginning of the match. Ethan Page is he'll fall, he'll roll out the way, and he's gonna get annoyed. He launches himself and he dives through the ropes, and he dives so far and so hard that he clips Ethan Page but flies over the announce table. That's how athletic and far this guy goes with that. And throughout the match, he was trying to stomp on Ethan Page to attack his jaw, but he tried doing those steel steps, but Ethan Page got the way and put his leg in between steel steps and kicked that. And he's been working on that the whole matchup. And he hit the All Eagles edge, but Javon was still kicked out. Javon does kick him in the face, but then Ethan Page does pull out the victory, which I expected it to be like that though. But I still think it was a good match between those two. Good match. Then they had Obafemi in a triple threat match with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, or kind of like a handicap match, because they had nothing else for Obafemi to do. They have not built up a credible opponent for him. I do hope they do that for Stand Deliver, but there's no credible opponent for him to have. And so it's like we just throw them into Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, who has been teasing a breakup. And I'm sorry, I'm just like, do I really care to see them? But all of it was just to kick ass and take names. And it was on a part of the outside where they got spanked. Grayson Waller got slapped in the chest and you heard it. But Austin Theory tries to fly in and Obafemi open palm smacks his chest. And you just heard it. Even Vic Joseph on that, he was like, ooh! Like, that was pretty cool. Grayson Waller gets a backdrop through the announce table. I don't know if it's the same announce table that you on Raw Smackdown, but this one broke. They do put Obafemi through the table. Well, they set up on the outside. Obafemi's on there, and Grayson Waller does one of his, like, I call it the between the legs twice NBA Live elbow that he does. There was at one point after that happens, also there hits the A-Town down, and he's about to win the match, but then Grayson Waller pulls the referee out, which causes the rip. But Obafemi comes and wins the match in the end. And I was just like, they don't have anything for Obafemi to do, to be honest with you. Then they ended it with the women's championship match, the Fatal 4-Way. It was Julia taking on Bayley, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade. I thought it was triple threat, but then apparently they add Cora Jade to this matchup. And to be honest with you, I do think that Bayley was the one that was kind of looking the worst out this matchup. And I don't blame Bayley. Bayley had a hell of a weekend, okay? Bayley was she was on Smackdown. She did the Celebrity All-Star game, part of All-Star Weekend. On Friday, they do the Celebrity All-Star game. She did that. She come and did this match on NXT. So I'm just like, and once again, she's a main roster superstar. She ain't working with Julia. She's not working with Roxanne Perez. She's not working with Cora Jade. She's not working with any of them. So there's going to be a lot of miscommunications, things like that. But Julia wins, and Stephanie Vaquer does come out, and they do stare down each other, and then like they're going to team up. But Stephanie Vaquer did have her eyes on that championship. I wonder if they're going to do a champion versus champion type of matchup. So after Julia won the match and Stephanie Vaquer is actually looking at the title, the alarm siren goes off. And we all know what the alarm siren is. And that is Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is coming out, and I'm like, okay. So it's looking like that when it comes to Stand Deliver, I don't know if they're going to try to do a triple threat or if they're going to combine the times, because they had all three of those women in there. Jordynne Grace is sitting there looking at them, and she comes into the ring and stares them both down, but she's having an eye on Julia. I think that's what they're going to set up, because Jordynne Grace is like, she done NXT. I would love to see her on the main roster. I don't think she needs to go through NXT, to be honest with you, but I do think they probably want to just go put her through the ringer a little bit, but I do believe that she won't be on there for long. If anything, Jordynne Grace will be on there until about SummerSlam, and then she'll find a way up there on the main roster. And I think, having her beat Julia for the championship, I'm all for that. But I still believe Jordan Grace should be on the main roster, honestly. But having her in NXT, I'm cool because the NXT Women's Division is already stacked. It's already stacked beyond compares. Like, what else more can they do to it? And add Jordan Grace was like, ooh. So, but once again, if they don't have no plans for her at WrestleMania, they don't have a set storyline they could put her in. Then put her over in NXT, and she's going to succeed immensely. But having Jordan Grace at the end of the show, that's why that is the match that ended the show. Also, the thing I did not talk about when it came to, there was a mysterious group that attacked Josh Briggs and his partner at the end of their match. And they also came out and attacked Obafemi after the match also. And what happened was, it's giving me Retribution vibes. And it's scaring me. I was like, it's getting it. Like, they're all in black. They got these masks on. And I was like, I just cannot shake Retribution from my head. And how bad did that suck? I don't think they should. Like, you gotta have a plan for them, because I was getting Retribution vibes, and we don't know who these people are, but they attacked Obafemi, and they also attacked Josh Briggs, and I can't pronounce his name, but you know who I'm talking about. So yeah, but overall, I thought Vengeance Day was good. I thought it was a good show, and another strong show by NXT.